questions. I'm going to just give you some suggestions about the way you can like analyze and deal with issues of the passages. So these are just some hints. You're not limited to these issues, okay? I listed the issues just because I think that they are important for me. But there could be some other issues I forget that I didn't include here, okay? So let me use maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes to read the issues, and then I'll upload them on to the internet for you to use as reference, okay? So don't forget that you need to clearly assign the jobs, okay? In a group of 7 to 8, each one should have a clearly assigned job. That's one thing. And then in the 40-minute time of discussion, I guess each of you should speak at least for, let me see, 7个, yes, 3 to 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes, okay. And then you should respond to each other's comments. 可能你们自己讲的是3分钟就差不多，然后后面就是互动，就是你可以同意不同意其他人讲的，或者是问问题等等等等。好 ，OK. So and also as I said, I would encourage the last 2 persons to work together. 要不然的话，你们可能会有一些是那个不是这两个4 and 5 to work together. Otherwise, there may be some overlapping. OK， 因为第4和第5其实是很相关的，就像是第1、第2，所以你们可以就是2个人 work on number 1 and 2， 2个人 work on number 4 and 5。Yeah, OK. Any question about the assignment? I mean, like job assignment? No? 然后下礼拜哈，你如果不是在讨论的时候，就在这一间，然后 observe and be quiet. Okay? 好，let me give you some related questions. Group 2, this is Wharton's letter. He wrote the letters he wrote to Margaret. I guess it's all very obvious. Wharton's differences, I think we have talked a lot about. Okay, besides Wharton's differences and similarities, differences from similarities to Wharton, to Frankenstein, and why he admires Frankenstein. You can also talk about his function as a witness and as a brother. And then finally, the functions of letters in this novel. Okay. To be wild in your imagination, you can wonder whether it is possible to have a female witness to this novel. Okay, and historically, whether it is possible, or maybe it is possible only if we shift the setting to contemporary society, to our society, and then a female witness would be possible. Okay. In their society, maybe it's not possible for a woman to go on a voyage. Okay. Okay. The second passage is, I think this is also a passage that Group 1 used in your quizzes. Basically, this is a description of the first experiences, the first bunch of experiences the monster has. So basically, the main issues are like how the monster learn different languages. Besides human language, there is also the language of nature, or how he approaches nature, and how the capitalized nature corresponds to human nature. Okay, so whether there are correspondences between human nature and nature. Okay. Yes. Well, this is just some crazy idea. I guess there should be some sci-fi about this, and that is if the monster were born in our society, what would he have learned, or what would he be learning, after its birth? Okay, would he? Maybe the first thing he'll learn is to go to 7-Eleven, or I don't know. So I think that's something you can consider. Okay. This passage from chapter 10 is about Frankenstein's going to nature, and there were, as I said, there are two kinds of nature: the beautiful and the sublime. And here he faces Mont Blanc, 白朗峰, as well as Glace de Mer, 就是那个冰河。那 Glace de Mer 我不知道中文怎么翻。Mer 应该是海的意思，应该是一个滨海之类的哈。And he specifically it is a Montverde, 绿山 that he faces in that part of the Glace de Mer. So he feels the magnificence and the sublimity of this natural scenes. Okay, and then he feels elevated from his small worries. He feels that he is able to be distracted. Okay, so I think that definitely all of you should put the passage back to its context. For instance, like in this passage, the most important context is that this momentary release or comfort he gets from nature is gone right after it, because he then sees the monster in the mountains. Okay, so I think that context is very important. Okay, also the sublime in nature, its impact on Frankenstein, and by extension, its impact on us. Do we have any natural things in Taiwan which can deserve the name of the sublime? Okay, some people say that everything in Taiwan is small. If we compare them to the sceneries in mainland China or in the United States, 我才听到一个笑话，就是有些大陆的朋友讲说，他们就站在日月潭前面，然后就问说，日月潭入口在哪里啊？他们没有想到说，从小听到的日月潭居然这么小，一眼就看完了。Okay, a lot of sceneries in mainland China are huge, really huge. Okay, so but the sublime is what inspire our sense of awe. 其实那个 sublime 和 beautiful 的那个对比是在它的 size 上面，就是 beautiful 像是那个 daffodils， 它小小的很美，那你觉得你能够comprehend, and that's a beautiful. Okay, the sublime is larger than life, so you feel that you're in awe. Okay, so whether there is anything sublime in nature in our society. Also, so besides nature, there's also Frankenstein's responses to nature. You can either talk about it in terms of his resilience, 就他的那个恢复力 resilience, or his self-excuse. Okay. Yeah. Do we? And then we have Frankenstein speaking to nature. Do you do that? Do you do that when you go like to Alishan or something like that? Okay. Okay. Yeah. These are the questions for you. Okay. The fourth passage is yes. This is when the monster tries to persuade Frankenstein to create a female monster for him. Okay, and then the Frankenstein said that you've already committed some crimes. Why should I believe in you? And then the monster explains why he has vices. Okay, and he said that my vices are the children of forced solitude. Blah blah blah. Okay, so there are related issues like why the monsters are evil, or the reasons for his crimes or evil doings. And his request, whether you or Frankenstein, I think we talked about it, should grant it, okay? And should we trust him? Okay. And remember I gave you a pyramid scheme of the different levels of our need, and self-esteem comes later. We need to be like well-fed, well housed. Okay, we need to have, in other words, a materialist grounding first before we can have more spiritual or symbolic senses of ourselves, and before we can have like ascetic needs and self-esteem, etc. Okay, so basically, the monster claims that it is his solitude that drives him to crimes. So in other words, he is not well nourished by human society. And then the question here is, what are the sources of our morality and self-esteem? Are we born moral, or do we get educated to be moral when we are well-fed, when we have good parents, etc.? Okay, so I think these are the larger questions you can ask. And the last passage, this is about Elizabeth. I think by now you know the importance of Elizabeth. You can analyze her temperament, how she, I think this is, yeah, this is the passage after the death of Clerval. And Elizabeth wrote to Frankenstein and says she loves him, and in a way she hints at the idea of marriage and wonder if Frankenstein has another person, and that's why he puts off marrying her. Okay, so here we see how Elizabeth is changed, how she suffers over the many deaths that happened to her family, etc. Okay. But then, at the same time, she's repressing her emotions for Frankenstein in order to support him. Okay, so her temperament, the roles of women, Frankenstein's attitude toward Elizabeth, etc. Okay, and to make the story of Elizabeth relevant to us, maybe you can try to find out whether there are examples of Elizabeth, her selflessness in our society. I think that's a question you can ask. Yeah. Okay. I hope this is the suggestions here are a little bit of help for you. Do you have any questions? Any questions? No? Okay. To entertain you, let me show you just a little bit of the film production of Death of a Salesman. And then I'll do a quick introduction so that the reading will not be too difficult for you, okay? To give you a sense of the characters involved, in the play, there were a lot of dialogues between the mother and the sons, the father and the sons, also between the characters in their present and in their past. Let me just give you a very general introduction. Since you don't have the play with you, I'm not going to read it. In the beginning, there is a long stage direction, and it is very, very important. Okay, if you find the description boring, I don't mind you are skipping it when you do the first reading. Just enter the play and get to understand the characters, like between Willie and Linda, and then the two sons, etc. Okay. But you have to go back to the stage direction to read it very closely. For instance, there is a description of the flute music. It is small and fine, telling of grass and trees and the horizon. Okay, so why does the flute tell of grass, trees, and the horizon? You know, when the whole setting is a small house before the background of apartment buildings. OK， 这边那个他描写那个他们的 house 和背后面那个公寓大楼也是很重要，就在暗示说，在这个现代现代的工业社会 ，OK， people get to be all boxed up in apartment buildings， 都在一些小格子里面 ，OK，and the house becomes one-dimensional. And very fragile looking. I don't have it here. 它前面也描写说那 house 本身是非常看起来很脆弱的。好 ，and then there are detailed descriptions of the house, like the kitchen, the 3 chairs, and that suggests really the center of their family life, where a lot of conflicts happen or love relations happen in the past. Okay, and there were elements of the dream, for instance, a silver trophy that the father used to be proud of. Okay, and it's actually about the breaking of their dreams, the breaking of the father's dream over the sons, or the breaking of the so-called American dream. Okay, so the poetic elements like the flute, the blue collar, okay, suggest the dream. Suggest how Arthur Miller is sympathetic with Willy Loman, who is a low man, low, 很低微的, okay, but who has this grand dream, and then the question is whether he is a tragic hero or not, okay, because of his dream, okay. 你们有没有人看过那个《大亨小传》The Great Gatsby？ 没有。OK， 这2个，一个是小说，一个是剧本，2个事实上有很多 similarities。Both of them are about American dream. Yeah. OK， 像比如说他前面描写那个，就是前面那个 apron， 好，他有那个 wall line， 然后他那个角色 follow the wall line 的时候，就表示是现在；他不 follow the wall line 就表示是过去。好，然后还有那个 color， orange color and blue color suggesting different things. OK。So let me briefly introduce Arthur Miller. Yes, in 5 minutes. Arthur Miller and the American Dream, and then we can call it a day today. Arthur Miller, I guess the most famous thing about him is he was once married to Marilyn Monroe. Okay, but in American literature, that's not what he's famous for. Okay, he's famous for his critique of American Dream. Okay. He's famous also for his rendering of familial relationship, especially father-son relationship. Later on, he's also famous for depicting Jewish identities. He's Jew, but he deals with Jewish identity in some very subtle ways. Okay, some of you may know this film, 激情年代 Crucible, which is adapted also from Arthur Miller's plays. Okay. American Dream. Does any one of you know what American Dream is? 大概只有睡着的人知道哈。Okay. Basically, it started with immigration. You know, it started with the Europeans looking at the United States as the earthly paradise. Okay, and they believe that this is a promised land God has given them, and for them to make a lot of efforts and endure a lot of hardship to go from to sail from Europe, from England, from Ireland to the United States, and in this promised land, as long as they work hard, they will succeed, and that's the American dream. And there are endless possibilities for them to become successful, you know, as long as they work hard. So basically, American dream has this religious element, this ideal that they want to be away from the corrupt Europe, the corrupt society. They want to be on a virgin land, a land which is not corrupted, a land which suggests endless possibilities. But then inevitably, this is also a materialist dream, you know, a dream for materialist success. And that's why Willy Loman, as a salesman, you know, is part of the American dream. You know, he has, he's all in the commercial business, you know, but then on the other hand, he has his own ideal. Okay, so he himself suggests the conflict between idealism and materialist success. And in the play, there are a lot of signs which are to do with how American dream becomes in the capitalist society. 就我刚刚讲 ，American Dream 事实上是从应该18世纪末到19世纪开始发展。那可是这个社会越来越商业化、资本化，这个 dream 就越被 corrupted。 可是事实上，那个早期的时候，它也有它的 negative element， 比如说那个they will drive away, they drove away the Aborigines in order to pursue their dream。就它那个 expansion 的过程中间是就不断的把原住民驱逐。好，那 that's another part of their problems. Okay, in the play, the images of the car, the house, the furniture, the machines they use, like the washing machine, etc. They are all related to this American dream. They are all indispensable elements that make up the dream. Okay, for one to look successful or be successful. And sometimes we can have today we have some other examples of American dream, like 我们曾经有一个网络那个 .com 的那个成功例子。That's one example of the American dream. The sudden prosperity, sudden success of some internet companies, or the illegal immigrants. But like the .com, those websites, they can become successful only temporarily, and then they'll lose the chances. Okay, so that's a counterexample of American dream. Likewise, illegal immigrants, like the boat people who come from China, can be those people who hold the dream but never are able to realize it. So in other words, the problems with American dream is, on the one hand, that it is contradictory. It is idealistic and materialistic both. Also, it hides the reality of inequality. Not everyone can make it. Not everyone can make it, and I think that's one problem. Yeah. Okay. So in the let me skip this part. Basically, American dream, the counterpart of the American dream is the class mobility in Pygmalion. It's all to do with capitalist society, and how in capitalist society, the middle classes, as long as they work hard, they'll be able to earn money, and then they'll gain in their social status and become successful. Okay, but the problem is that in the capitalist society, there is also the problem, the issue of money, which is an abstraction, 一个抽象的概念。In other words, in the American society, people go on credits. 我不知道你们有没有美国的亲戚哈？我的美国亲戚都会这样子耶，就他们事实上都有很多 deficit， 就是有很多 debt because of the use of credit card. They all have more than one credit cards, and they owe a lot of debts. So they are all busy with paying up the debts to their credit card company. And in the play, Willie Loman also suffers from that because they buy the house, they buy the car with installment plan, 就是分期付款. Okay, and then they are in debt. They get to be always in need of paying up the mortgage or for the installment plan. Yeah, so that's another problem with the capitalist society. 所以基本上那个你们要开始看那个小说，基本上就是要注意三件事情。先注意三件事情。第一个是它的 setting， 好，它的 setting 里面它怎么样描写 house versus apartment building。好，那第二个是谁代表 dream？ 那哪里我们看到了 dissatisfaction？ 哪里我们看到了 disappointment？ 好，然后后来你就会发现为什么。好。And thirdly, the father-son relationship that you will get to see a lot in Act 1. And I think it's in Act 2, you will finally find out why the father and the son are alienated from each other. But in Act 1, there were a lot of suggestions of the hopes the father has for the son, and also how the son, they care about the father, etc., etc. So on the one hand, the whole story is about American dream, the problem with the whole society. But on the other hand, this is a family story. This is a story about a family, how this family gets kind of drifted away from each other in it. Okay, and as I said, pay attention to all the stage directions, because the stage direction suggests that the play is expressionistic. Okay, expressionistic in giving symbolic meanings to the concrete details of the setting, of the music, of the actions, and also of the way they remember the past. OK， 像刚刚我们讲说那个 band， 事实上它出现的非常 symbolic， 然后它整个 journey 去 going into the jungle， 整个也是非常 symbolic。那 the mentioning of Willie Loman's father 也是一样，很短，可是它那个意义会很远。好，所以 so all of this you should really pay attention to. OK， that's it for today. 那个我下面就是有一些那个问题。Make sure that you pay attention to the questions when you read Act 1, because by May 30th, you will need to write up the journal for our class. Okay? Okay, that's it.